episode of Earth Talks comes to you from Nairobi. And we're lucky to have with us the man who's at the center of all the action, Mr. Satya Tripathi. We know that the UNEA 4 assembly is still on. Some decisions are still being taken. But if you could give us a sense of what's happening and what are likely to be the outcomes today.
Well, I think there are 40-odd resolutions that have moved through the committee processes, and they are now before the assembly for adoption. Several have already been adopted, but I can't tell you the numbers, and because they're still, the process is still ongoing. But I think in summary, yes, what one walks away from this, or the takeaway is one of hope, yes, one of urgency, that the world desperately needs climate justice, and they need it now. And that's what is at stake. The common future of not just humanity, for our shared planet is at stake. And I sincerely hope that all the stakeholders, as they travel back to their homes and communities, take back that sense of urgency and do everything they can within their powers to deliver the results that the IPCC report urges us to, that is to stay within 1.5 degrees Celsius of global warming, and to not breach that pathway, which is at 2028. That's the inflection point. If we don't get to certain sets of results by then, we'll never stay under 1.5. Right.
Are we expecting good news for the planet? Do you think that the world leaders who have gathered here get the sense of urgency which UN Environment has been trying to communicate?
I think most countries do. Some countries do have that same sense of urgency, but they don't have the resources.
Right.
So I think we have to all come together as a world community, those with resources, those with ideas, but with the need for resources, to make the conversation more real, because we have been talking for too long, yes, and not produced the required results. And that is why we are where we are today, and hence the sense of urgency. Yes. So I sincerely hope that the stakeholders leave Nairobi with a sense of purpose, redoubling their efforts, yes, so that when we meet again in 2 years' time, we are not talking about hope, but we are talking about results and action.
Yes. I think that's a good point. We've just come out of the India-Africa Sustainability Summit. Your final comments on how you think India and Africa can work together?
Well, they have a lot to share, both in terms of a common heritage and an empowered future. And given the same climatic conditions, same development challenges, I think there's much value in this partnership. And as I mentioned in my concluding remarks, that there's a bright future right around the horizon. And it is possible to, with a sense of purpose, with a sense of humility, and with a sense of respect for each other, to come together and work together to deliver the development dividend that people across the oceans are so desperately waiting for, both in India and in Africa.
I think that's a good optimistic note to end this conversation on. Thank you so much, Mr. Tripathi, for speaking to us.
Thank you.